Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com.
I'm Bob. Happy Friday.
Welcome back to our Top 5 Friday ski industry news videos. Pretty light week for news this week, Bob, don't you think?
Yeah, I think people are, well, some people, part of this, some of our stuff here is about people holding on to ski season, but some of us have moved on too.
Yes. Been spending some decent time on the golf course in the past week.
And me on the bike and on the athletic fields with the kids.
Yeah,
So.
What a stark difference.
Yeah.
Just a hard stop. No, I'll still go skiing at some point. I went up and built a jump.
Yeah, it's fun.
It was sweet. That was less than a week ago.
Yeah, and it's kept snowing here.
I did a trick.
It snowed yesterday.
It did. It was cold. Yeah. I gave up on golfing yesterday. It was like 30-something degrees and 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, the wind was prohibitive.
It was challenging. Yeah. So not too much to go over this week before we get into the news. Ski Happy's all wrapped up. Congratulations to the winners there again. We'll have to look forward to next year's Ski Happy contest at this point.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I think we can get right into the news. Like I said, it's a pretty quick week for ski industry news. A number of ski areas have announced extended operations through at least this weekend. A lot of these were kind of coming out of the Pacific Northwest. A lot of snow up there.
Yeah. It seems like there's kind of two schools of thought. It's these resorts that try to stay open as long as they can, and others they've set their budget, they've set their timeline, and it's a hard start and stop. Like JP here in Vermont, they're like, we're going to go another weekend, and if we can go another, we're going to do another.
Right.
Or Killington's like, we'll run it till it's done.
Right.
And just two schools of thoughts. Like Stoke could be open.
Right.
Based on snow. So
I think a lot of that comes from each mountain's unique situation and whether they own their land or not. I know a lot of places like Breckenridge, they always have to shut down for elk migration.
Right.
And I believe here in Stowe, it's a similar reason.
Yeah.
Like the state.
I think it's just their lease. Their lease is up in the third week of April.
Right.
Every year.
So they have to close.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to see that difference between those two just fundamentally different strategies.
Right. It's not like there's not snow here.
Right.
Or at tons of places in Colorado.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a good segue here because this isn't just regional. Mount Bohemia up in the UP in Michigan, they're extending their season. Like you said, Jay is extending their season. And our esteemed colleague Matt raised the question, is ski season shifting?
Yeah, there's always seems to be more snow on the tail end.
Right.
If they're going by when and where the snow is versus your lease or the elk,
right,
then yeah, you can shift it.
It'd be really interesting to see, like a couple hundred years of snowfall data.
Right.
I don't know if that exists.
I don't think so.
But I feel like, because I like my counter argument to that would be last year in Vermont, we certainly did not have an extended ski season.
Correct.
That was an abrupt end to ski season. So maybe that's an outlier, but yeah, let us know what you think. If you feel like in your region the season's kind of shifting a little bit, let us know.
Yep.
Second topic of the week, Winter Park has announced their master development plan. I believe they're on national forest land, and this is every 15 years they have to submit a master development plan. If you love this kind of stuff, go read through the whole thing because it's long. But there are a couple kind of highlighting things that came out of it. They're planning to develop Vasquez Mountain, adding 4 lifts on that mountain in particular, and a total of 6 across the resort. And as a reminder, this is a pretty long-term plan. It's not like all this stuff's going to happen next year.
Right.
But I thought that was interesting. And you and I were speaking about this earlier. That would raise their comfortable capacity from 15,830 skiers to 22,375 skiers, which is just a lot of skiers.
That is a big number.
I should say snowboarders, too.
Yeah.
Snow riders.
That is a huge number.
Guests.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22,000 people. It's a lot of people. The other thing that kind of stood out to us in this plan is a gondola that would run from the kind of downtown Winter Park area up about a 1.75 mile stretch to the base of the mountain.
That's a reasonable length for a gondola
Right,
to move people,
right.
not 7.5 miles like we'd have here in Stowe.
No, it's very similar in length to like the Breckenridge gondola.
Yeah.
And would serve a very similar purpose.
I find that to be an acceptable length and application for a gondola.
I agree. But if you guys watch these videos, you know that to me, a really long
That's just scratching the surface of gondolas.
Really long gondola is
Yeah.
also an acceptable length for a gondola. But no, I thought that was cool. And I was in Winter Park with Fisher way back in December. And I remember being there and taking a shuttle from the mountain back down into the downtown area.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had to wait a little while for the shuttle and stuff like that. And it would have been great to just hop on a gondola.
Yeah.
Get a nice scenic gondola ride.
I don't like the shuttles when the walk is justifiably equal to the wait and the shuttle ride.
It was so hard for me to stand and wait
Yeah.
for a shuttle for 15 or 20 minutes, knowing that I can walk a mile and a half in 15 or 20 minutes. And just being like, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? Why don't
It's
we
right there.
It's right there. Let's just go walk. So I would have hopped on that gondola for sure. Third topic of the week, Colorado students and MountainFLOW Wax have announced a collaboration to form a Fluoro Wax Take-Back program. What do you think of this, Bob?
You know, I'm kind of ignorant on the overall harmful nature of a fluorocarbon in the world based on how much is used in the ski industry. Like,
Right.
I've never used a fluorocarbon personally.
No, never?
I've never put a fluorocarbon on my ski personally.
Sure you
Perhaps
have.
a ski shop has.
I
but
bet you have, unknowingly.
Maybe.
You've never waxed with, like, Swix LF?
No. Not knowingly. If someone said, here, put this on your skis, then I would, again, ignorance.
Yeah.
But for the, you know, overall environmental impact of the ski industry as a whole, you kind of look at these traffic lines on I-70 with, you know,
Right. Is that
90% SUVs. Like, is that like, where's the priority and problems here?
makes you wonder, like, oh, fluorinated wax must be really bad.
Must
if
be
this
really
is what
bad.
We're focusing
Right.
on,
So
rather,
yeah.
rather than all these giant SUVs just lined up on the interstate.
Right. And I'm not saying that I want fluorocarbons filtering into our watersheds. Like,
Yeah, you're just curious.
I'm just curious as
Yeah,
to,
maybe we have some chemists and biologists
Yeah.
in our audience that can chime in with more details.
like, is one thing of fluorocarbon worse than 6,000 SUVs on I-70?
It actually might be.
Okay.
I think it actually might be. And different, because it's directly polluting the watershed.
Yeah.
So, anyways, MBA students at Western Colorado University have formed a collaboration with MountainFLOW Eco Wax. During the month of May, MountainFLOW will accept fluoro wax drop-offs and replace it with their own product.
Great. I'm all for it. I'm not saying I don't think that this is an issue, but
Sounds like what you're saying, Bob.
Yeah.
No, and I have waxed with a lot of fluorinated wax
Yeah.
in my lifetime as a former Nordic ski racer. We used to just take chunks of Sarah F and run
Right.
them all over our skis, and powdered Sarah F, and like I think that stuff's pretty bad.
Yeah.
You gotta wear respirators and stuff. And
Yeah. It's just, I have a hard time thinking of the grand scheme with these things.
yeah, well, maybe somebody can
Yeah.
chime in and they'll clarify for us. And then fourth topic of the week, another real quick one. Rossignol has announced a new ski that they're calling Essential. Feels like they're
A ski essential?
feels like they're kind of just stealing our branding. Yeah, it's a ski called Essential
I think we missed out on a branding opportunity there.
to create a ski and call it Essential.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is a new, very recyclable ski from Rossignol. Most skis right now are about 10% recyclable. If you want to kind of break down the materials in a ski, this ski will be 75% recyclable. And Rossignol has hopes of making 1/3 of its line recyclable by 2028.
Yeah, and from what I understand, this is more of like a prototype.
That's what it seems like.
They're not selling them to dealers like us.
I haven't seen any show up.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any talk about it, but no, it does seem more of like a pretty limited batch prototype, kind of testing the waters type thing. Narrow carving ski.
And we noticed that they top out at like a 165 or something like that.
Yeah, real short.
Real short, so they're reducing the amount of overall material that they have to put back into the world.
I don't think they'll sell many here in the United States, just given its width and its length options. We tend to gravitate towards wider and longer skis here in the United States.
Filled with non-biodegradable materials.
I think the recyclable part is, I think that's marketable in the United States. I think you don't see many people on skis like that.
No.
From a shape perspective. But pretty cool to see, more and more companies. We just did the Fisher Ranger 96 review yesterday. And they've got that kind of stat sheet on their top sheets now that show how they're improving their eco-friendly production. So pretty cool to see. And that's it for news topics this week. And then we just have our edits of the week, as we always do. First up is a recap of a Winter Park / Red Bull / Bobby Brown / GoPro test event. It was really, really cool. There were 10 athletes that were invited by Bobby Brown to a special shoot at Winter Park, basically to see who could get the best GoPro follow cam footage. They built kind of some park-style jumps, but through more of a natural setting. Really, really cool, and I think probably an indicator that we may see more of a formal competitive event like this in the future. So kudos to Bobby Brown for putting it together. Bobby Brown, he always does great things for the industry.
Still at it.
Still at it.
Been around for a while.
Yep. I think now he's still at it, probably more from an organizational perspective than an athlete perspective. But yeah, it's great to see him involved. Second edit of the week is the recap part 1 of Super Unknown Finals with Level 1. We chatted about that last week and the previous Top 5 Fridays, I believe. So go check that out. There was some awesome skiing. I saw a lot of clips on social media. And then this one's pretty interesting. It's called Rest Day from Stefan Dollinger. Basically a parkour athlete that just goes to a ski resort and runs and jumps around.
Cool.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah, it was creative, pretty unique way of showing an athlete's capabilities.
Yep.
So check that out if you're interested in parkour or free running or want to see what somebody without skis on their feet does at a ski area.
Yeah, I don't think I have a whole lot of experience with that.
No. And that's it for edits of the week. Like I said, pretty slow news week. Nothing major, nothing controversial in there.
No, just environmental stuff.
Just a nice casual conversation about ski news.
Yep.
So hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back next week with another review. It'll either be Mantra 102 or the new women's QST 98.
Okay.
Couple good ones.
Yeah, great ones.
Keep you guessing which one it's going to be. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.